I'm Sarah from The Upcoming. Such a pleasure to be able to speak to you today. Thanks so much for taking the time.
Of course, thanks for having me.
Maybe just by way of introduction, for people who don't know anything about Sound of Hope, the Story of Possum Trot, what can they expect going into this film?
Sound of Hope, the story of Possum Trot, is a true story. I portray First Lady Donna Martin. Basically, it's a hopeful film about a family and their church community adopting over 77 kids out of the foster care crisis. It's gonna be real, so bring your tissue. It's a powerful story and it's a true story.
Yeah, and it's one of these that, really, it's hard to come away without being really affected by it, moved by it. When did it kick off for you? When did you jump on board with the project? And what sort of spoke to you about this story and made you want to be involved?
So I was involved from the very beginning. Well, let me not say the very beginning because this has been 8 years in the process, in the making. I came on maybe a year ago. We shot, oh my gosh, the time is gone so crazy between the strike and coming back. But I like right before the strike, I got the script, I read the script, I loved the script. And I met with Josh and Rebecca, the writer, producer, directors. I was like, I have to be a part of this film. And what started off as me possibly playing the lead, then it switched over to me playing the sister. And then it switched over to me back playing the lead. And so God made it where he said, okay, just say yes to the project. Just say, be obedient and kind of like saying, whatever it is you want me to do, I want to be in this film and I want to be involved. And so, yeah. And so then I got that full credit as executive producer and lead actress.
Taking on this role of Donna, I guess, there's such an amazing story to tell, but also a level of responsibility there to tell someone's true story. What was your approach to taking on the character? How much background research did you do? How much time did you spend with the real Donna? Where did you begin with this character?
I didn't have a lot of time. Like I said, initially I was supposed to play Diane, the sister. So when I got the call and said, no, you're going to now be the lead, I was like, okay, I need all the videos. I need old pictures. I actually got a chance to meet First Lady Donna Martin. She came down to set. We prayed, we had lunch. And so my biggest, I guess, challenge was taking all of that information and bringing this woman to life in my body, right? So it was important for me to capture her essence. And I think that was more so the priority as opposed to trying to be her. I wanted to kind of show her in a way that people knew her heart, people knew her fears, people knew her inhibitions. And so, I sat with a lot of those videos and prayer and worship songs that her and her sisters would sing. And so I talked to her after she saw the movie and she was impressed and she was happy. So that made me happy.
And, it's not an easy film to watch. A lot of moments, there's some really heart-wrenching scenes, particularly, with the young kids, particularly with Terry as an adopted daughter. How did you find working with your fellow cast, perhaps also the younger cast, Diana playing Terry, but then also Demetrius playing your partner? And how did you maybe kind of have that feeling of trust on set to be able to go to these quite difficult places?
I think we all knew that this story was very important and we had to let go of what we wanted to do and allow the story to speak for itself. Demetrius, a powerhouse. He came in, the chemistry was there immediately. I connected with Deanna, who plays Terry. She's British. And so we would go back and forth, like trying to help her, with her dialect, her country dialect. So that was a bonding moment for us. And all of the kids were just super professional, super on point. When you're opposite a kid, you're like, okay, I gotta bring my A game. I can't let this kid outshine me. But no, seriously, I think we all understood the assignment, and we all were like, okay, these scenes are intense and they're emotional, but Josh made it the set very, very conducive to really go there. And I think, as you probably have seen in the movie, like there's definitely there's a life to each scene, right? That brings the story to the forefront of like, man, these kids, they went through a lot.
And in that sense, was there a particular scene that you found most challenging? And then on the flip side, was there a moment on set that you liked the best? You know, perhaps where, you know, all there together, and you must have created such an amazing bond.
I don't want to give away the movie. I don't know when this is coming out, but there were so many scenes that were difficult because I really truly connected with Deanna. We really had some wonderful moments off camera. And so then I would have to come on set and kind of be a certain way, you know, depending on what scene we were shooting. And I was like, I was kind of like in conflict, you know, but I knew that this was the scene and I had to do it. So there are moments, you know, as an actor, you kind of dread doing certain things that you know you have to do because it's written and it's going to move the story forward. But at the end of the day, we all loved on each other and hugged each other and we understood like, okay, let's just get through it. So yeah.
And I guess perhaps it's the fact, you know, there is a lot of nuance to the story, and particularly the portrayal of Donna. You know, it's not presented like this is a linear journey for her and that she's a flawless character. You know, she's very human in a lot of these moments, you know, where she's saying, oh, you know, making that differentiation on my daughter. So it's not necessarily about painting this as something that's all sort of rainbows and unicorns in terms of, okay, you take on this challenge and then, you know, it's just something that she's able to cope with, you know, without any issue. So is that something also like interesting to get your teeth into and to show her as, you know, a completely human, rounded person?
Of course, we all connect with people who are flawed, right? Nobody wants to see a perfect character on screen. We don't like those characters. We want when this is a real person, we want to feel like we can relate to them. And I think that was very important to show the dimensions of this woman who's not just a mother, you know, a wife, a first lady, you know, an adoptive parent, and all of the inner turmoil she's going through. I mean, this is only just a slice of her life that we're seeing for 2 hours, but imagine a lot of the things that she went through. And I think Josh did a great job at writing it in a way that where we can connect to her and really feel for her and have empathy for her.
And see that journey that she goes on, because then maybe it does help other people think, okay, well, you know, you don't have to just be a wholehearted do-gooder to be able to do good. You know, anytime you take on something, or say you did adopt, you know, a child, it's not going to be plain sailing, but it's always trying to be better, trying to learn, trying to grow. Almost feels like more of the message, rather than you need to be doing everything perfectly all the time as a parent or as an adoptive parent.
Yeah, it's a journey. Like life is a journey. There's, you know, you don't just come to a destination. And I think even now when I speak with her, there's still this life and vitality that she has for really wanting to like end the foster care crisis. And so, you know, this is not something that she just decided, oh, I'm just going to do this and do it this one time. I think, you know, especially for me, seeing the relationships that she have with her husband, Bishop WC, and the kids, it's admirable because it's not easy. It's not easy. And so she's definitely the cornerstone of not just her family, but her community.
And in terms of the impact of a film like this, you know, obviously it's, you know, immersive and it's taking people on the journey. But I think it's one of these where, you know, there is a bit of a call to action there at the end. You are hoping that people are going to take something away, thinking of whether that's the crisis that's there in the US or showing here in the UK. So many people, you know, young people needing to be adopted or looking for homes. So what do you hope the impact of the film to be?
My hope is that people are moved. This is more than just a movie. This is really a move of God, because God is seeing his kids suffer and he wants us to pay attention. And so every person is going to be affected in their own way. And I think, like you said, you just can't walk away from this film and not remember some of those things that happened in the story. And so my hope and my prayer is that people are moved to go and and do something, whether that's adopt, foster, be a big sister, big brother, a mentor. Really, really search out for kids that need hope, and need a family.
And what have you seen the reaction be so far, I guess, from the people that are portrayed in the film, but also broader audiences over there in the US?
Oh yeah, people are definitely I get DMs a lot saying, wow, I adopted my niece, or I'm thinking about adopting, or I had this situation happen, I got discouraged, but I'm gonna keep going. So I think definitely people are waking up, right, to the call, and staying diligent about, like, being a solution as opposed to just not doing anything.
And what was it like having Letitia Wright involved? I don't know how much you collaborating directly together. She was there on set. Was she someone whose work you'd admired before? What was it like having her on board the project?
Letitia is a force, okay? When I have conversations with her, I'm just like, girl, you really have the spirit of God in you. Like, you really want to see God be glorified, and using her platform and her voice to really amplify the things of God and the things that matter, right? And this really desire to fight for kids. And I'm like, you're so young though. But you still have all of that, that tenacity to do more. And so I'm excited about her journey. I'm excited about where God is going to take her, because this is just the beginning for her.
Thinking about how this fits in, I guess, with your broader portfolio, because I know you've done sort of a bit of everything, from stand up, comedy stuff, of course, being in Euphoria, playing Rue's mother, so how do you think this project contrasted to those?
Well, I don't know if there's a contrast as much as there's a through line of me being a mother that is dealing with kids who are lost. And so that has really pushed me as a person to understand that, like, my journey, my path is to be an advocate for kids who are vulnerable and marginalized, because that's where I grew. I grew up in the inner city, and look at me, like, so it's a testament of, like, hey, if I can do it, if God can bring me through it, then he can do it for you. So I'm a living witness, of what God can do with very humble beginnings.
What was your experience of working on that show, working with Zendaya? I mean, could you ever have predicted that it was going to be sort of this cultural moment, if you like, and, just really seemed to be like nothing anyone else had seen on screen before?
Just like with Sound of Hope, I get the script, I read the script, and you hope and say, hey, this is something that I would like to be a part of. But never did I think that this would be the #2 show on HBO, and everybody's talking about it, and it's a whole phenomenon. But ultimately, it's something, once again, a topic that needs to be addressed, addiction. And I'm just so happy to be a part of both projects, because they do speak to me personally, and I'm able to bring all of my experiences and all of my trauma, right? That's actors, we love to pull from real life situations, because that's what makes it real. So I'm grateful that God has used me in a way that glorifies him, and also bring light to situations that may not normally have been the topic of discussion.
What's going to be next for you after this? Are you going to let the dust settle on this? Have you got something else lined up already?
Well, I'm actually producing my first podcast, Nika, please.
Yeah.
So I'm taking more authority with putting my story out there and letting people know who I am. So yeah, that's my next project for me creatively, and then of course doing more stand up, and hopefully Hollywood start picking back up. After the strike, it was dead, but I think we're on a path to getting some projects produced. So that's the goal.
And do you have a preference doing comedy, doing drama? Do you like having this balance of all these different things?
I actually like to do comedy. The drama is cool. Like, I've been doing drama for the past couple years, and it's been showing me like, wow, I'm able to pull from so many different places. But now I'm ready to laugh. Now I'm ready to make people laugh. I'm ready to be upbeat. I'm ready to like do something lively. You know, I can still be somebody mama. I could be a funny mama. But yeah, I think for me right now in this point of my career, I wanna do some more comedy.
And what are the stand-up gigs that you do? Is it live stuff there in the US or?
Oh yeah, I'm at the Improv, the Comedy Store here in LA, and yeah, of course, you know, comedy is for me is life. It really is.
I'm sad I'm not there to be able to come and see it, but I'm sure
I need to come to the UK. At least you guys will understand me. You guys speak English, you know. So I need to tell my manager give me some bookings over in the UK.
Oh, as Brits, we love to laugh. So yeah. Well, thank you so much for sharing all that with me. And I think it's like the film's out this week, next week. So I can't wait for everyone else to see Sound of Hope as well. Thanks so much.
October 11th. Thank you.